Hello, I'm delighted to be able to talk to you about adding years to your life and life to your years and what we can do as people and the technology that's there and some other considerations that can make that a reality. I'm Dennis Robbins, and hello. You know, when I get up in the morning and I look out the window and see it's going to be a beautiful day, I never say, wow, what a beautiful day. Think I'll go out and get healthy. What I do is say, you know what, I may go down and take a hike and take a walk, or maybe I'll take the dog out, or maybe I'll go swimming today, or maybe I'll go surfing, or whatever the case may be. But it's about activities. It's about what I want to do that day with my life, not about my health. Now, if I'm ill or sick, that may get in the way from doing those things. But essentially, I'm driven by my life, not by health, though health is an important consideration in terms of my life. Life is why. You know, the ancient Greeks used to talk about the good life. What constitutes the good life? How do we get and stay healthy as part of that good life? And how do we have the good, correct, actionable information? That's critical in terms of our living a better, a more fulfilled, and a longer life. But the goal is life. Health is a subset of life, an important part of life, but not the end goal. The end goal is a good life. If we look at healthcare, we find out that most of our healthcare systems are about treating or managing illness and disease. They're not about health, and they're not about care. Our systems are fundamentally about unhealth, performing rescue reactive care, procedures, pharmaceuticals, managing acute exacerbation of disease. Some say, in fact, we really don't have healthcare systems, we have sickness systems. That's not correct either, because if we had a good sickness system, we would identify an illness, we would manage that illness over time, and we would improve upon, as much as we can, the sequelae or the implications or the symptoms of that illness. Instead, what we do is we force that illness back into what we consider to be acceptable, back inside the bell curve, and then we move on. Bottom line is, though, we're neither trained for the most part, nor focused on health as so-called healthcare professionals. If you go back to the ancient Greeks, Aristotle said health is the mean between the extremes of self-indulgence and self-neglect. For the person, for each of us, the goal is to live well. And living well is about balance, avoiding excess, mindfulness, savoring, resilient, happiness. Each of us is the key of adding years to our life and life to our years. And we have to recognize that you can't do it all the time, all at once, and you can't do everything all at once, but small incremental changes over time, particularly those that are sustained over time, can make immense, huge differences. For each of us, the goal is to live and get one's life back after injury, insult, surgery, recovering, strains, whatever the case may be. It's easy enough, however, to promote a healthy behavior for any of us. It's okay to go on a diet for a short time to see if that achieves the goal you want, but really sustaining that over time, making it part of your life, not just your lifestyle, but part of your life, is where the real challenge is and what's really important. That way you can get better control of your destiny and your future. Getting engaged, working through things, engagement itself works if and only if it is personable, meaningful to you, and then it can make an immense difference. Each of us has a choice to determine our own trajectory, to determine our own future. We can be a victim or we can be a vanguard, because we have the potential of being either or both. We need to be mindful. We need to set up realistic, achievable expectations and not be frustrated when we fall short. We need adequate sleep. It turns out that I found out that I have a mild sleep apnea and was told that I needed to use technology, a CPAP, to sleep at night. Not in my game plan. So I tried all kinds of other things. I went on the internet, I researched the literature, I tried things in my nose, I tried things in my mouth, I tried all kinds of things. Finally, I stumbled across a technology called Katsu. And Katsu was something that increased the distribution of the of blood through capillary expansion, and it brought up oxygenation to tissues. Anyway, bottom line is, it made a difference. I didn't know it was going to make a difference. I tried it because I was curious when I heard about what the technology was for a number of other things, where it's been used for phantom leg pain reduction, helping athletes recover from illness, from injuries. I mean, and for resilience. And the first time I tried it, I said, "Whoa!" First night, my sleep improved. Well, it can be serendipitous. It could be whatever. And so I kept using it and found that my sleep metrics changed dramatically over the several months that I've been using this technology. Non-invasive, simple to use, really, really, really made a difference in terms of making me feel there's something I could do. I felt there's nothing I could do. And here was something I could do that was easy to use, simple, and made a difference. Game changer for me. I also have the peripheral arterial disease in one of my legs. I walk, I'm healthy, I'm active, I'm not a smoker. No reason I should have it. I've got it. And I have a blockage of about 7.5 inches in my femoral artery on my right leg. And that requires a pretty extensive surgery, all the way from below the belly, all the way down the leg, doing an arterial bypass graft. However, I'm real active. I walk a lot. I walk 15 to 20,000 steps a day anyway. And I do it every day. Sometimes I fall short, sometimes I exceed it, but pretty much it's my life. It's the way I live. That activity is infused into my life. It's part of my daily regimen. It's something I do. It's something about me. And as a result, my collateral arteries around that artery that is blocked pick up the blood flow, and I'm doing just dandy. I went to see my vascular surgeon last week. Vascular surgeon said, not only have you not deteriorated, your capability has increased by 5%. Unbelievable. Keep walking. Keep it up. You'll never have to have the surgery if you keep walking. Now, that's a good enough incentive for me. So the digital technologies I use, whether it's been my initial interest in having Fitbit kind of help me get motivated to walk, or when I started using my Withings technology, or when I started using my Garmin watch that I use all the time, that's how I identified the difference in my sleep, through my Garmin watch. Those metrics were very helpful to me. I quantify some of that and make it part of my quantify self. When I think about health and living well, I think about readiness, resilience, mindfulness, endurance, prudence, balance, and for people like you athletes and people that I'm speaking to, hardiness as well. One of the things we need to do is rethink the way we think about ourselves when it comes to healthcare and the medical side. As patients, the concept of patient makes me nuts. I don't like it. The more I learn about it, the more I dislike it. Patience, which comes from the Latin word patiens, mean to wait. It's one who is passive. It instills the concept of passivity. Patients are by their nature passive, wounded, injured, subservient, vulnerable, and yet they get admonished for not embracing healthy lifestyles for healthier living. If we're passive, wounded, subservient, what's the expectation? So we need to unpack the baggage associated with the patient and pathophysiology and disease and move back to the person. Because as a patient, I'm reduced to a disease, a condition, a body part, an infirmity, and we need to get back to who we are 24/7. Whether I'm an Olympic tennis player, whether I'm an Olympic swimmer, whether I'm a husband, whether I'm a man, whether I'm straight, whether I'm gay, any of that is just part of who I might be. It isn't exactly who I am. I am a person, and that person encompasses much more than how other people see me or how they define me. If we want to preserve and enhance function, performance, and live a better life, we need to recognize that small changes can make immense differences, and that mindfulness, readiness, resilience, balance, and hardiness are the drivers. You know, who knows me better than me? Each of us is unique and distinctive. We have our idiosyncrasies, we have our quirks, we have our likes, our dislikes, our preferences, our values, and our aspirations. That's what defines us. And I am the person most knowledgeable about, most interested in my own well-being and my life. So it should be shaped of something that's meaningful to me and not to a population or not to someone else. I'm a person. I'm not a patient. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a blonde. I'm not the gallbladder room 248. I'm me. And I, as me, can change. As a patient, I'm not going to change. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre speaks of freedom, that we need to let go of the past. The future is before us. And he uses the example of freedom as skiing and leaving no tracks in the snow. The world is before us. Let's take advantage of it. Let's savor it. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Essentially, we want to orchestrate a behavioral symphony of health and wellness. That means balance from the various components, not too much, not too little, orchestrating structure from what may be potential chaos. Again, neither too much nor too little. Must have been important to have it there twice. Mindful blending of the elements and components, harmony and balance, and getting beyond the noise and cacophony of fads, falsity, misdirection. Finding the things that work for you, finding the things you can rely upon, finding the right technology, finding the right regimen, finding the right way that you want to live. If we go back to Hippocrates, and Hippocrates speaks of regimens in his Hippocratic Oath. Regimens is diatia. That's where we get in English for the word diet. But really, interestingly enough, literally it's translated as rules of life, or the way one lives one life. The way we live our life is critical to who we are and who we become. That gives us agency and empowers us. We can thrive and not just survive. We can live longer. We can live wiser. We each are the source of our meaning and purpose. Even when something happens to us, if we have a significant injury or an illness, we can choose how to deal with that. We can be overwhelmed by it, or we can use it as a springboard for our future to make things better. As a Paralympic friend of mine, who's 98% blind, Amy Dixon, says, without this challenge of my blindness, I would never have become a Paralympic. I would never have achieved the things I can do. I'm not going to get down by the fact that this is something that's gotten in the way. It becomes the opportunity for me to make a difference in my life and to share that insight with others. Really, really important. We want to augment our lives with smart tech that helps give us guidance and helps us and gives us directions, helps us quantify what's going on so we know where we're going and how to get there. That's one of the ways in which we operationalize health and wellness and how we can shape our future trajectory, the lives of those around us, and our own life. Optimizing, maximizing, and savoring life. That's what it's all about. Again, balance, readiness, resilience, mindfulness, endurance are components of that. Small changes incrementally, as I've already noted, can make huge differences. And remember, please remember, it's all about the person. Thank you. I enjoyed the opportunity to share these insights with you. Hope you find them helpful and useful and help you add years to your life and life to your years.